Perfect Paint fans. Hope you're having a great day today. My world's been a little crazy lately because I closed my store and I needed to move my studio up into my apartment. Anyways, while I was doing that, I came across these delicious pieces of cardstock that I had printed using a gel plate and Perfect Paints, because you can see that shimmer on there. So I thought that they would be fun to use on this little heart that I found at a local thrift store. So of course, you know me, I gotta have flowers. So I've cut some squares from those pieces of cardstock. And what I did is I also then painted on the back side. This is honey gold and this one is ballet slipper. I also took a couple of hand-drawn flowers and stuck them to the back of also a piece of the paper. And then I have these little white darlings that I'm going to paint. So let's get going here. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to show you how I make a rolled flower. Now, I'm not really particular as to whether it's circular or whether it's, you know, kind of got these little boxy edges on them. You can always go in and kind of trim them off if they bother you. And then what I do is I just start just cutting into the circle. Just go round and round. You want to make sure you leave yourself a big enough pad right here. I do go back in and cut that off because it is rather pointy. Now, the reason that you painted the back side is because when you look at these flowers, you're going to see both sides of the paper. So here's one where I rolled it with the painted side up, and here's one that I rolled with the printed side up. So what I do is I just take this and I bend over the tip, and I just use my fingers and I keep going back and forth as I'm rolling the flower. All right, so now I've got that rolled. And yes, I roll them fast, but I've been making rolled flowers for years. It may take you a little bit of time to get that whole rolling process down, but once you do, it's awesome. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of let that go and let it uncoil. Then I'm going to put a wad of multi-medium in the center. So there it is. It's glued down. Now you want to give that a hot minute to allow it to set up because we're going to do more to that. So let's go over here and make some more of these. This time I'm going to do this one with the paint side up. Once again, just going around in a circle. You really want to kind of try to keep your circle width of the coil about the same. Okay, once again, I'm going to go in here and cut that off. Bend to that tip over, and then we're just going to roll. So you see I roll it, then I pick it up and I move it. Keep moving it around. You'll find your way. Okay, once I get there, I let it uncoil. Okay, then I'm going to put a little dab of the adhesive onto the little pad that I created, and we'll hold that for a little hot minute so that it can set up. Okay, so I have my 3 rolled flowers here. I have cut out a couple other flowers from the back of the paper, and then I also have these white ones. Okay, so here are my coiled flowers. Now, if you look at them, they got this kind of weird hangover going on over here, so I just am going to take a pair of my scissors. And I'm just going to kind of go in and just kind of make that a little better. I don't like how it has that lip hanging out, but that's the beauty. It's paper, so we can just cut it. Go right there. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm taking a little bit of the coral, Perfect Paint Shimmering Matte Acrylic, and I'm just going to put it on my finger, and I'm going to run it over the top of my flower. So it's just giving it a nice definition, and it kind of wipe off my finger. Now I'm going to use the honey gold on the gold one. I'm going to go around the edges. Might be a little of that coral still on my finger, but that's okay. All right, I've got these little white darlings right here. Give them a good spritz of water, because the water is what's going to help the paint move. Then I'm going to take a little bit of this coral, and I'm also going to spritz that with water. Mix it all up. And then we're just going to take that paintbrush and we're going to go right around. Do you see what's happening? See it move? Oh my gosh. So beautiful. But that's why you have to have the flower wet and your color that you're putting on, you want it diluted down. All right, we can even go in and do a little bit in the center. There's one. Then we have the last ones, the paper ones that we cut from my hand-drawn flowers. Okay, and I'm going to take some of this coral that I got diluted down here. I'm going to put it around the edges of my cut flower. All right, so here's the paper cut ones from that. So I just take it and kind of roll those little petals a little bit. Okay, so there's one. Here's the second one. Now the second one, we're going to take a little wad of multi-medium here. Going to put it right in the center of it. I got some prills here. Going to dip it right in there. I'm going to put another wad of multi-medium on the back. Set it right in the center of that flower. That's so pretty. Set that aside to dry. Now we have these rolled flowers that we've done. They're super pretty. I do love them like this, but to me, they're too perfect. So what I do is I got to make sure that they're all good and dry, because if they're not and you add this water, they're gonna fall apart. All right. So now what I do is, now that that paper is good and damp, I am just going to manhandle them. I'm going to take that center, kind of came uncoiled. There it is. See, isn't that so much better than this? Okay, so I'm going to repeat that process on the next two. So here is my finished product. I did end up going in and coloring some of those little white flowers with the honey gold. And additionally, I did have all these little leaf fodders that I had pre-painted and added those in, along with a little bit of moss. This little stuff that grows up here in New Hampshire. So here you have it, and I hope you've enjoyed my use of studio fodder. So until we meet again, be creative. Bye.